Everybody super, bro. Super T,
Exactly. See,
super A,
exactly.
super
Hey,
G,
we run this, man. Yeah,
super
we let
Quad.
y'all know. Y'all don't let us know. All right, let's jump on this is a good one right here. We gonna jump into that finance. This is a good one that I want to know because, of course, I
I
want to
like
start
talking
my
about
on
money.
my 5-on-5 team. So I want to make sure I'm getting the most money out of my 5-on-5 team, man.
Uh,
So let's go and dip into this one. I gotta hear about this one.
Mm.
Let me know, Paul. Let's roll with this.
all right, let's go.
Let's go.
We don't give them an allowance. I don't
Really?
think any kid should be given an allowance.
Interesting. Why not?
They want money, they become an employee of the company. We give them a series of things to do. We pay them once a year. That money goes into Cardone Capital, and they live off the distributions.
That's amazing.
It's a tax write-off. We're doing about $50,000 a year for their salaries right now. Started at 30. They said, "How can I get a raise?" I said, "You can do more things." Sometimes they'll get a bonus for doing extra stuff. They never get the money.
It's invested.
They get the distributions. I think they're $667 a month in cash flow. When they saw this sweater I like, how much is it? $200. I said, "Good. How you want to handle it?" So they're like, "Yeah, I want to buy this out of my checking account."
Right.
They feel better.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Let
a
me
good
tell you.
one.
Hey, look, I gotta run get my charger real quick. Y'all go ahead. Y'all talk about it because I
What?
got something to say about that one. Yeah. Go ahead. Y'all go
You got
ahead.
to start it off, Paul.
Hey,
I can start. I can start it off real quick. I think
Yeah,
that's
go ahead, Paul.
genius. I think it's genius. And the reason why I say that, I always shout out this book, man, that I read called The Millionaire Next Door. I'm pretty sure most of y'all heard me talk about it. That's on the live. But everybody out there, man, that's a great book to check out. And it talk about how it's a decline in second generation millionaires. And what they talk about is, and what they explain in the book, my boy Trey got holding it up right there. What it talk about in that book is the reason why it's a drop off in second generation millionaires is because um they don't have the work ethic. They don't have the work ethic, and they don't learn the money knowledge because instead of the parents, the first generation millionaires teaching them how did I get it, how did I manage my money and things like that, then what I would say is, well, what happened is that since they didn't teach them, they just know how to spend money and they think money's supposed to go to them. They don't know how to work for the money. They don't know how to budget. They don't know how to plan. And so then when they got this millions of dollars or whatever, they don't know how to add on to it. And if you ain't adding on, it's subtracting from you. And what Grant is teaching them is, how to better use your money. We talked about living off, I think he said living off the interest or the dividends.
Yeah.
Started and imagine you get to, like, you a kid and your parents got millions of dollars set aside to you, and you got in some type of investment vehicle where it's producing $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. And instead of you just blowing through that money and then using it and spending on frivolous stuff, you say, you know what, I'm gonna add to it. And when I add to it, instead of $3,000 a month coming to me in interest or dividends, now I got $6,000 or $8,000. Most people don't think like that. They think, oh, I got $1 million up in here and I want something. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna withdraw from it, pay capital gains tax, all these other taxes and penalties and stuff like that, and end up losing the money. Instead of just being like, you know what, my parents laid a foundation, the ground level for me, I'm gonna add on to that. So instead of just, in these investments, cashing it out and then going and buying things you don't really need, you go around and you add on top of it, and what it's going to do is benefit you in the long run. And now your family, all they got to do is just live off of interest for the rest of their life. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's talking about. He said, I don't really pay them in cash. He said, I invest their money for them. And when they want something, you come talk to me. What do you want? All right, I gotta put a little bit of money in your checking account. Here, you go ahead, use your debit card or whatever, and just spend just spend everything. Like trust fund babies, exactly, Taz. Trust fund babies. And that's what, but a lot of times these trust fund babies,
They
they
blow the
want
bag.
a certain lifestyle that they haven't earned.
They
Your
blow the
parents
bag.
earned that for you. You know what I'm saying? Your parents built this up so you can live that lifestyle. You didn't work hard for it, so you're not going to value it the same
There
way
we go.
as somebody else who worked hard to build up that level. So what Grant is teaching them is the work ethic that it takes to keep on building on what the parents laid on the foundation level. So that's why I think that's a great idea, because he's getting them used to not really spending money, but not getting used to seeing the money. That's the better way to put it. When you don't see it, you don't think you got it. You know what I'm saying? So now you spending and you thinking on your money differently. But if you keep giving them cash and stuff like that, I learned this from my daughter. So I don't really give my daughter a bunch of cash and stuff all the time. But when they see the cash, they like, ooh, I got $20. I can spend $20 instead of thinking, oh, I can spend maybe 10 and I need to save this other $10. So I like what he was talking about. That's how that gives you a better opportunity to build second and third and fourth generation millionaires within the family.
Shine. Get your shine on. Get your shine on, shout it.
Yeah. So, hey, I put this on. I put it on everywhere. Booty cheeks, kneecaps, underarms. I got the vanilla right here. Usually, hey, I got the lavender ones. It helped me sleep good. 'Cause I be sleeping like this, and I can smell it off my hands. I'm trying to tell you, feeling good. Y'all better rock with this.
Right.
It's that vanilla. Yeah.
Listen, man, we ain't being ashy no more. Hygiene.
Yeah.
Hygiene is important. You need to get your shine. It's hydrating. It's light. It lasts all day. You don't got to use a lot, and it's good from face to foot.
Historically, I don't really use lotion or nothing like that because I'm like in a hybrid, light skin, in between dark skin motherfuckers. Coming back from vacation, I'm a little sunburnt. So I needed something to get my skin back right because I'm feeling like a reptile right now. So I'm gonna get this baby going on when I get home.
Oh, and look, you gotta shine on, everybody.
Shine.
Hey, look, I got like 4 cases. I got a bunch of cases. And I got the big jar too. That's old school. Y'all don't even know about that. He don't even got those no more. But look, I'm telling y'all, this shine is amazing. Help with eczema, clear your skin up, all of that great stuff. So you don't want to miss out on this shine, man. Make sure y'all go get y'all a bottle of this.
All natural ingredients.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where they can find it?
So you can find this at shinecareproducts.com. Let them know that we sent you. Use the code FMF20, get you a discount.
Got to.
Instead of dying off at that first level.
All right, I'm about to turn this up. Paul, go ahead and grab the charger, bro. I think he's going out anyway. But that type of information, that's a resource that most Black people don't know. Part of financial literacy that we haven't learned. I haven't seen that in a book anywhere. And those who do get that type of knowledge for some reason, what I see is
Come on, white boy. Take 4 yours and get 9. Oh shit, my bad. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey man, that was my brother, y'all. Listen.
What just happened, bro?
Everybody's super today.
He crazy, man. This don't man. Y'all met him. You ain't gotta meet him. Y'all ain't gotta see his face, but y'all heard his voice. This is how he is, all right?
He sounds just like
That's why
you,
I love
bro.
to be here right now. That's why I love why I'm here. You never know what's gonna happen. Continue, man. I'm sorry.
But so I would say that's a resource or just something that's learned. That's a generational thing. You know what I'm saying? So we still learning the generational aspects of leaving assets and creating wealth instead of just making money. So that's one of the things that I see us currently working on, and it's one of the things that from our previous discussions, G would be like, "That's not like why can't you learn it?" type thing. And the two mentalities, if I could try to bridge them, the two mentalities, I would say like the one who does learn it, wherever you learn it from, even if we have to step outside our own to learn these types of things. Infiltration, man. The spook who sat by the door. Learn these things and bring them back to your people. A lot of us who get it don't share it with the next one. You know what I'm saying? We start to look at each other. We start to look at each other differently. Like, I got it, you should do it too. Yeah, but show me what the hell did you did. You know what I'm saying? Throw me the resource. You know what I mean? What was the book that you read? What was you know what I'm saying? Give me the juice, boss. Give me the juice so I can you know what I'm saying, take this knowledge and apply it. I can't we can't all bet on self to a certain extent, especially if we're talking about community. You bet on yourself and you build your value is determined by what servitude, what you can do for others. So all of your learning, my black people, all of your learning, all of the generational curses that's being broken, all of the things that you're now instilling that is actually boosting and bettering your family, show it to the next family. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily got to charge. Show it to the next family so we can actually, you know, incline on the scale. Would y'all agree?
No,
I agree.
wholeheartedly agree.
Hey, real quick, can I chime in on that real quick? I'm back, y'all.
Super power, we super, bro.
I'm back. I wanted to chime in on that because I do agree to show, but sometimes people got to be able to do their own research, and you got to be willing to take a chance. And the reason why I say that is sometimes by the time we show y'all, it's too late for y'all to really jump in to get the returns or to get the maximum benefit where it benefit us the same way as it does them. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you hear about something, people need to start getting in a rhythm of doing their own research, especially in the financial field, because this thing is constantly moving, it's constantly evolving. And sometimes if you don't get in on a certain level, your potential gains, if we talk about like investments and stuff like that, is dwindled. We could go into life insurance. If you don't get life insurance at an earlier age, it costs you a lot more when you get later on in life. And then when you realize the importance of it, you be like, oh man, I can't get as much coverage because it costs more money for me than it would have if I would have listened to somebody at age 25 and did it. So some of the things, it's not necessarily they can show you. You got to do your research so you can learn from other people as well and other sources that, like this might be a legitimate investment. This might be a legitimate, avenue, life insurance, things like that, where you're not missing the boat when they go and sell. So I agree, we do got to show you, but sometimes you can't show somebody what's not there yet. But then once you get there, I can't really show you the same way now because it's not going to operate the same way for you unless you got more money or this or that. So I agree in a sense, but sometimes we got to get in the habit of doing our research so we can learn for ourselves and we can teach people. But some things, like I can't show you, I can show you what somebody else got paid for life insurance, but it don't mean it's going to be the same thing for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your research and see that, a company has a track record of doing good business over a period of time to be able to pay out on something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some things you gotta be along for the ride. And I'll give real quick, I'll give an example. And not financial advice. It's not directing towards any type of stock or whatever. But I made out pretty good on the GameStop wave a couple of years back. And I was trying to tell people like, hey, this thing about to pop off. It's about to get ready to pop off. Like, don't miss it. And the thing was, I couldn't show them that. You know what I'm saying? I could just show them numbers. I could show them projections and things like that. But I can't show you what it's going to be. But once it popped off and I made my money, the people that came after that wave not making the same amount.
4, 3, 2, yeah, go and chill, yeah. Man, y'all watching this video, man. You ain't subscribed yet? Man, you got about 5 more seconds to go and subscribe. I'm gonna finish up with this person right here, man. Hey, subscribe to this channel, man. We got work to do. All right, let's get back to it.
You know what I'm saying? If not lost money now. So that's what I'm kind of talking about in regards to some of those things.
Yeah, man. Keith, what you had to
Well, that stuff like that GameStop shit was like rarely happens in the market, like
Mm-hmm.
so that's like an anomaly. But I think to Paul's point, no, you can't show people everything, but I think you can show people the logic right away.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
based on one thing Grant Cardone talked about was, he invests the money in stuff that's gonna pay out a dividend or interest over time. Any young person that asks me how I got to where I am, like at my job, and they were like, "Oh, I heard you invest in stocks, like da 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 da." Like, how you do that? I'm like, "Hey, man," I tell them, invest in anything that pays a dividend, any stable company that pays a
Hello.
dividend. Like, I can't preach that enough. Like, I'm gonna invest this money in this company. Like, let's take Apple for example. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
put money in Apple, who's the number one tech company in the world, and not only does it have the potential for the stock price to rise, which is going to gain me money, but in the meantime, they're going to pay me X amount of cents per every share I own,
Mm-hmm.
monthly or quarterly. Like, I think, to Grant Cardone's point, like I'm scared to be a father because with my kids, every time they want something, I'm like, how much that cost? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put that in a dividend for you, and you can go buy it later. Like, because I'm scared to be a father because I'm gonna be like, no, no, because I'm thinking like, all right, if somebody was there to tell me when I was no, you don't need that Ninja Turtle toy, no, you don't need them Batman, like I want to say no to all that frivolous stuff. I'm gonna let them get away with some stuff, like maybe on their birthday, Christmas, whatever, but I'm gonna say no to a lot of shit they don't need that they go outgrow in like a month, especially in the early years. And I would just, put. I'm gonna adopt that. I'm gonna pretty much adopt that idea of Grant Cardone, and I'm gonna put that shit in dividends. That's what I'm doing for myself now. But I wish I was doing this like 10 years ago, compared to just starting in my 30s and whatnot. Because like Paul said,
It's a
the
different
boat,
playing field.
yeah, the boat ain't sailed, but the potential gain over time could have been so much
Mm-hmm.
greater if you got the knowledge a little earlier. So that's
Yeah,
dividends. It's not financial advice, but go get some dividends.
right. And before we go too, well, not before, but I want to elaborate too about stop giving kids money. Kids don't know what to do money. So this is one of the things that we need to be teaching the youth more younger. Stop thinking that kids can't learn these things because they definitely can. And if you're having a challenging time with it or grasping that concept, then try to find a way that a kid would learn this because they learn everything else. If they can learn ABCs and how to read and how to write and
They
arithmetic
know
and
they know lyrics to NBA YoungBoy at 3 years old. They can learn some shit, bro.
They learn them TikTok
Facts.
dances and everything.
don't
They
cut
can
them
learn
out.
this. They can
Don't
learn
cut
this
them out.
financial stuff.
Hey, that was
They can
good,
Uh,
learn
Keith.
that stuff. So make
See,
learning fun. See, look, make learning
yeah, they
fun.
do. I mean, yeah, that's good, Keith. I mean, that goes into that's basically kind of when I was leaning to, and Taj kind of hit it. Taj kind of hit it right on there. She just posted. She had put a comment in, and that's like kind of the same exact way of kind of how I think. It's a mixture of both. Even though I lean more of kind of what she was saying as far as people know the knowledge. I think nowadays, I mean, back then, let's take it back. Back then, of course, we were taken away from it. It was a point even in America we weren't able to read. I understand that part. We was there. We couldn't even get to certain ways and couldn't do this, could do that. I understand that. But now we get into an age where not even just 2023, at least 2010, 2000, 1990, we all have the same access to the same libraries. And now we're even so good now that we got whole computers in our hands right here. This is a whole computer that can find anything on here. We either use this right here for education or pleasure. I think the problem is that a lot of people are using that too much for pleasure and not bettering themselves and educating themselves. So
yeah.
it's a mixture of I kind of want to be able to get get everything, get a few tips from other people, but it's like a fine line where like you ain't gonna tell me, well forget it, I'm gonna have to learn on my own. So we're gonna
Right.
have to find out a way between those two because honestly, we have to come to a realization that we have evil people in the world. We have people that are a-holes. We have people that
Come
don't
on.
really care about the next person. So it's not just that they're not telling you it's because they're not telling you because they don't want to see you win too. So if you know that from a person, you keep on understanding that they ain't gonna tell you the juice, you ain't gonna be able to find it, then you'll have to go to YouTube University, go old school, get a library card, go try to figure out a way to find it on your own, because that's just the way of the world, and everything's on your fingertips. Even how we found these clips right here, how I found that clip, I didn't even know about. I can put my kids on a checking account or something like that. I was like, oh, and I had that because I was really going through my bag about how I can be able to better myself as a husband and build more wealth when I have a family. So I was like, maybe I can find somewhere, and I had that video sitting in the stash for like months because I wanted to use that eventually when I had kids. So I was being proactive and trying to figure out a way where I could be able to build more wealth through my family. So it's all on the person. It's all on you. If you want to go ahead and learn it, figure out a way to Google it, find it, because that's what I'm doing in my spare time. And I'm not just on there just posting pics and looking on random TikTok and doing all wild stuff. I'm trying to better my education. So I think it comes down to the person. If you want to do better, it's out here. There's plenty of money out here, man. So we're going to have to figure out a way to do some stuff on our own or get around a group of men that want to see you win.
I love it. I love it. Both of them.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
to consolidate that, what I always tell people is knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Because it doesn't, the same thing y'all saying is it doesn't matter how much you know if you don't do anything with it. Because honestly, you don't know it as much if you never put the experience behind it. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. You know what I mean? So we love to get it from the wise because the wise could tell us their personal experience with their knowledge that they learned. You know what I'm saying? And going back to the topic of stop getting.
Oh, you still here? You ain't subscribed yet? Hit that button, my man. Hit that button to subscribe.
Giving kids money. They was having a discussion. Come on, Paul. They was having a discussion this past Sunday at Free Session Sunday. The discussion turned into they was talking about how they paying the college kids and they're paying the kids in college now. And the idea was, man, the general consensus in that conversation was, man, it's going to be horrible. Well, why do we think it's going to be horrible to give kids millions of dollars? You know, these are essentially teenagers and young adults, you know, like playing sports and already reaping the benefit of, you know, where they're trying to go. So you can get lack of ambition, you can get complacency. We're looking at uh, people like John Morant as ideal, you know what I'm saying, the ideal person. You know, when you got the youth are looking up to the youth. So you see somebody like that, like, hey, if he got XYZ amount of money, then you could do whatever. So the more money as a kid that you get, the more that you get earlier on, if there's no morals instilled there, if there's no structure there, then it can be destructive. It can be destructive. So on the topic of giving kids money, giving people money, to me, that's why I don't jump to somebody like, man, I'm broke, I need this, that. And I'm like, all right, well, what can you do to make money? I'd rather see you put the action in, you learn something, because teach a man to fish, huh? Teach a man to fish. Instead of me just making you a meal, you know what I mean? Because now you're going to look at me as the resource. And this is what happens. I think this is one of the things that has happened with us. And one of the reasons why we started pointing the finger is when we could rely on our neighbor, then you tend to only rely on the neighbor. You know what I mean? Meaning, uh, instead of making sure that you have sugar, I'm gonna just make sure I go ask my neighbor for sugar. Am I making sense?
No, you make sense.
We with
You
you.
make
We with
sense.
you.
You know what I mean? So,
You know, black people love sugar, so I understand.
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Love some sugar.
I'm about to talk about. So yeah, I'm on that wave when it comes to when it comes to community development within our people, uh, you have to be accountable. You have to be willing to learn, and you have to be willing to apply what you learn to get the result for you and your family. And you have to be willing to be open to share that with the next person who is as willing to learn and ready to apply. And as long as we continue that, that is where the building happens.
Very true. Very true. I like that, man.
I got you, man. So we're gonna get ready to close up on this topic. We got a third topic today too. I know G
Yeah.
getting that in the queue, getting ready for that. But it was one thing I wanted to touch on, man. Keith brought up a good point about dividend stocks, man. And one of the powerful thing about dividend stocks is not only can it pay you out, so you use that money to pay your bills and everything, but you can also reinvest those dividends to accumulate more stocks faster. And you basically, the company's paying you, and then you can turn that money and get more stocks to invest and get more and build up your portfolio faster. So that's one of the good benefits about those dividend stocks, man. And why those are like a hot commodity. Go ahead, Trey.
Now you talk about compounding interest.
Yeah, man.
That's what you call real drip. They call it drip. It's dividend reinvestment. Something I don't remember what it's called, but it's called drip.
I heard it. I can't think of it right now, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So instead of going out and buying designer and thinking you got drip on, you got drip if you got this money making money for you, and you ain't even looking at it. That's real drip.
Exactly, man. So I mean, it's so many financial options. Oh, and I thought it was something else I wanted to talk on while G getting the video loaded up too. The reason why it's important for people to do their own research. The investment field is a very
personable.
Say that again, Trey.
It could be a personable thing, like something that you like or would invest in.
No, that's not the route I was going. It can be tricky. It can be risky. Yeah, Keys know where I'm going. You got to do your own research because it's a lot of people. It's a lot of scams and schemes, and I think I talked about it on my personal podcast, the King of the Berries one. But you got things called like pump and dumps, and a lot of people get in trouble.
Whoa! Again? Whoa!
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna get clean too.
Whoa! Whoa!
Hey, Paul.
Sounds like a fun time.
And that's what it's called, yo. That's what it's called. I ain't saying it again.
Why you ain't saying it again, man? It's already on record.
They go back and rewind. But basically what people do is they build up fake excitement over a stock and get people. Look, there you go. Kawan put it down in the comment section. There you
That's
go.
crazy. That's crazy.
But that's what it's called though. And so people build up a lot of excitement over a company that's not doing well, or you know what I'm saying, it has no real value for the price to be going up. They build up excitement for it because they got in early. And so they put it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, start talking about this company, and then other people started investing in it. So let's say it's at $10, and now somebody bought like 1,000 shares at $10, and now it go up to like $30 or $40. And those people that invested at the bottom line, they pull all their money out and take the profits, and then now the price drops, and now everybody else that invested in it later on end up losing a lot of their money. And that's a thing where a lot of I think I saw something where like 90% of active traders don't make money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not sure how those stats really are. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's included in them, but I thought that was interesting that 90% of active traders, so people that manage their own accounts and things like that, newbies and stuff like that, they're losing money because it's a lot of research and a lot of work to go into finding good solid companies other than the mainstream ones you know about, and that's the easiest way. But active traders are trying to make money faster than trying to hold for years to come. Active traders are trying to make quick flips in a week, a month, whatever. And so if you're that type of person that's trying to look for that quick flip and that want to be an active trader, you gotta be able to say, yo, does this stock make sense for what it's doing? And that take a lot of researching into the earnings, to research into the balance sheet and all that stuff, man. So
we veering off.
yeah, hey, look, man, when we talk about finances, I get excited, bro. Like,
I know,
this is
man.
what I love to talk about right here.